And you might have. It might be William Weeks here. If he didn't commit suicide, he'd be right here facing you. Right?
But he's not. And here's another thing. You say that William Weeks was a troll that went after truthers. Okay? You're saying that I'm a troll who goes after truthers. And then I'm part of Montagraph's troll army. Alright? William Weeks went after truthers. William Weeks didn't like you. You didn't like him. Didn't like Von Helton. Alright? So if William Weeks was an anti-truther troll, like I supposedly am, would not William Weeks and myself be on the same side? Huh? I'm gonna let those two little marbles rolling around inside your head fight over that one for a minute.
Yeah, it's called conflict management. It's a Hegelian system. These trolls are managed by. Okay, what they do is they set up little conflicts to keep these guys entertained with themselves. And then guys like you come in and manipulate, and guys like Monograph come in and manipulate for other controls. Okay, and that's easy to see because as soon as Monograph comes in and manipulates, then Mackle Electric will put out the same news. The Von Helton will put out the same news when they're organized. Okay, but when the government or the infiltrated government, because I like to say that it's the crooked government or the infiltrated people in the government. When they decide to clean house, so to speak, that's what I figure you guys were doing. Okay, you were cleaning house. William Weeks was exposing too much of the trolls. He was getting the conflict management mixed up with other things, and he was starting to drink too much and expose too much, and you guys offed him. Okay, and the lack of evidence is what puzzles me, is the lack of why you did not go after William Weeks. Okay, if he was just supposed to be punished and straightened out, then that would make sense that you would tear after him and break him in. But you guys avoided him like the plague, which tells me that you trolls wanted him dead. Okay, that he was going to be executed, committed suicide. That's the same thing as Breakhouse. She committed suicide. I don't believe that. I don't believe all these suicides with you trolls. I don't. Okay? You killed William Weeks. Your group did. Okay? And you've manipulated and lied enough that I know you're part of it. Okay, that's getting way too obvious. And of course, I'm just going to go back here to your part 7.
Hello, Cancer Man calling.
And put in the juicy stuff here.
From this individual's Facebook page that they claimed was...
This is hard evidence that you knew William Weeks, that your arguments...
Well, Helton did mention Chang, but you were not paying attention to that. But you knew of Chang because he mentioned it.
I said Von Helton might have mentioned Chang. I did not say that I heard Von Helton mention Chang. I stated that if Von Helton had mentioned Chang, I was not paying attention to that at the time because I was not getting involved with all of that. So, excuse yourself.
Guy like you? Letting the details slip? Don't think so. I don't know. Am I bragging you up? Or are you an idiot? No, you're not an idiot. No, you were watching Weeks as well.
Was I?
See?
Somebody shared a video with me where someone was talking about lightsabers. Someone shared a video with me. I watched that video and they were going through a Facebook looking at pictures from this individual's Facebook page that they claimed was Boom at the Tigger lightsabers. Okay. I looked at that video and I listened to what the individual was saying. The person was talking, but you didn't see his face. And I did a rebuttal to this video. Basically, along the lines of, you know, you guys talk bad about people who go on Facebook and look up people's information, but yet here you are doing it yourselves and this and that. And someone sent me a message, a PM, and said, you do know that that's Chang on that video, right?
Okay. This is very interesting. You were protecting Boom de Tigger, the troll? You were protecting that troll? That's very interesting. And then someone comes along, gives you a PM and says, that's Chang. And all of a sudden you erase your video. An hour later you erase your video. And you're like, okay, you know, if Chang was under investigation, like you said, and you're an investigator, okay, why would you erase that video immediately? What was so important to get rid of any evidence? And thank you, by the way, for bringing that evidence back verbally. Verbally is cool. That just connects right to you, buddy. Okay, so why would you be concerned about Chang 13A at that time? Like, I'd be concerned now, because if that video survived, it would be definitely evidence leading up to his suicide, because he was being you know, we could go up and say, okay, yeah, you're a detective, and he was prosecuted without a lawyer, and we could really go after you. But now we can say, like, it's not about what we can say, it's just the logic of it is, okay, Chang 13A was harassing Montegraph, and you've put out videos saying that Montegraph was harassed. So why now is Chang 13A included as one of the victims? Why would you do that? Okay, that puzzled me for a long time, because it didn't make sense. Now, see, it makes sense that you were a part of his murder. And I do mean murder, because I believe somebody grabbed his 38 and plugged him. Okay, plugged him when the timing was right. And I knew you guys were going to plug him. I knew it. Ever since I seen that blog TV show where you guys were showing like, ever since the blog TV show where Chang was getting upset and getting drunk and revealing inside information on the trolls, I knew he was going to get plugged. And I didn't care about stepping in there as an scapegoat either, because I know I can expose your goofy ass. Because that's what you guys are, a bunch of goofs. You're not even good detectives. You're a bunch of goofs in charge of the defense of a bunch of goofy people. You see, and that's what makes it cool, because somebody smart can come in and say, hey, you know, is anybody else wondering about this? Like, here is okay. We're back at part 7 and part 8 of Cancermannightmare's interrogation, and because he's such a crook, I've turned it around and I'm interrogating him now. And now he's panicked and deleting my channels. Well, you delete all you want. I'll come back on in force. I don't care. You guys are a bunch of scumbags. Okay? You don't know your butt from a hole in the ground. Like, you're so ridiculous of trolls. You're starting to murder all your trolls. First it's, yeah, Breakhouse comes in, she gets all upset, she goes over to Forrest Jamerson, and she tries to plug him. Okay, then she's committing suicide. Boom, she's dead. Okay, and then Forrest comes on, now Forrest disappears. Interesting, very interesting that this Anonymous, very interesting cover-up on Anonymous. You know, and Cancermannightmare, I proved you work for Anonymous. You're even using your other trolls against me. Like, I mean, you took that what's his name, that Satanist, and you started agreeing with him and started toying around with him just to get at me. and you've changed your whole outlook on trolls. Now they deserve respect, and they deserve all these rights, And before you're going, oh man, you're disgusting, you deserve jail. But once they become your pet, like Dark Zodiac has, now they have all the rights. Who are you to, inflict on these troll rights? It's almost like you're saying, oh yeah, they should be a citizen. But back on topic with William Weeks, this was very odd that strategy that you chose with me to debate, and this is where I really went after you, is that you said that William Weeks was a victim when there's so much videos flooding, like you're doing exactly what the trolls do. The trolls will make a statement, but there's so much evidence around the trolls, it's on the borderline of cartoon ridiculous. There's so much evidence around all the trolls that it is ridiculous. That you're just trying to use blunt force to get what you want. And now you're murdering trolls. And murdering innocent people like Breakhouse. Okay? This has to stop. I'm going to expose you. Okay? You're a murdering liar, Cancermannightmare. You've threatened death because you've killed Weeks. Killed Breakhouse. Okay, and everybody and their dog knows when an agent pulls off a case, it's like the RCMP when they pulled the dogs off the Air India flight. Why'd you pull the dogs off? Oh, because the plane exploded later. Oh, isn't that interesting coincidence? And isn't that interesting coincidence that William Weeks dies after you pulled off his case and you got a PM that said pull away? And that's in your own words, man. You got a PM that you pulled away from William Weeks. Somebody says, are you aware that's William Weeks? What are you doing? Get out of there, man. That sounds like, whoa. Explain yourself. Instead of trying to break away and do all these other things, why don't you explain yourself, Cancermannightmare? What you and your COINTELPRO trolls were doing. Why don't you explain exactly why, when you got a PM, you would erase that video and back off of William Weeks before he died? You come up with a decent explanation this time, one that can't be refuted, because I'll refute every bullshit thing you say from now on, and I'll make a dozen channels on this until I hear a clear present truth why you backed off of William Weeks, why you tried to say he's just an innocent guy. See, now you explain that to me, because it was murder. William Weeks, Breakhouse, Megan Myers, something's wrong here. Okay? And there's a dozen other murders I'm not even aware of. And you come in and you right in the middle of this and you go, Dean, there's stuff you're not aware of here. You better start informing, man, because now you're a masked murderer. Okay, now it is getting obvious. And I've got Anonymous coming up and doing death threats. And I put that video up. And it's very interesting that come at the same exact time. So that it looks like I'm going to get killed by Anonymous because of revenge for William Weeks. So my motivations would be definitely to prove that the government killed him. The COINTELPRO killed him. Infiltrated government, I'm going to say. It's time to put the proof out there. And just that lack of evidence, just the lack that you pulled off of Weeks, and that you admitted doing that video, Protect Boomdetigger, is very interesting indeed. And sheds a lot of light on this situation. It does. So start explaining yourself.